How much am I going to sell? Every e-commerce store owner has to ask themselves that question at some point, usually repeatedly as they grow their store. And it's a big question. It's not just something you can Google. It's too complicated. There are too many factors. That's why in this video, we're going to talk about how you can estimate e-commerce demand. We're going to talk about why you need to do this in a rigorous and careful way, and then we'll discuss 4 methods you can use to estimate demand. We'll wrap up by talking about the limitations of demand forecasting so you don't overextend yourself by mistake. My name is Brandon, here on behalf of Fulfillrite. If you need help shipping your orders, go to fulfillrite.com and request a quote. We've shipped for thousands of clients and we're happy to help you ship your orders too. The quote doesn't cost a thing, so if nothing else, you get some good information on pricing. Link in the description. But enough self-promotion, let's talk about why you should estimate demand in the first place. Trying to succeed in e-commerce without estimating demand is a dangerous game. It basically means trying to run a store without considering inventory management. Here's the deal. When you can forecast demand, you know roughly how much stock to keep. You won't be as likely to overstock, and you sure won't be as likely to run out of stock either. Both are expensive, and ultimately doing this helps you cut costs and it helps keep customers happy. There's also some marketing implications too. You can't just throw money at products that are gathering dust when you can invest in items that everyone's scrambling to get. Estimating demand means putting money on winning products. You can't really scale without estimating demand either. By understanding which products are actually gaining traction, you're equipped to make smarter expansion moves in the future, riding the wave of market trends rather than just kind of guessing. But you got to be careful about how you do this, because if you misjudge demand, that'll lead to problems. You underestimate, and that means missed sales opportunities. But if you overestimate, that can lead to cash flow challenges because you're buying too much inventory and storage costs for, again, unsold inventory. So let's talk about how you can do it right. In this video, we discuss 4 evergreen methods for predicting demand, starting with method number 1, using past sales. When talking inventory, past sales offer real numbers. If you have them, use them. They tell you which products are year-round winners and which ones are duds or flashes in the pan. And with this knowledge, you can align your inventory with expected demand. This can also help you figure out how to allocate your marketing budget, which in turn can help you estimate sales demand. If one product is consistently outdoing the rest, it's time to possibly boost its marketing budget and grab a larger share of your audience. And those that lag behind, it's time to rethink their positioning before you go spending bucks. Now, when it comes to business growth, past sales are invaluable. Tracking trends over time can help you figure out what's actually going to succeed. It's golden, and this will help you launch better new products, forge partnerships that you need, and tap into new markets. But you've got to be careful about relying on past sales alone. The past doesn't predict the future. New products tend to sell better than older ones, and you can also see huge spikes for no obvious reason at all. So if you start with skewed data and you bet big based on bad numbers, you can end up tying up funds and flood your storage with unsold goods. And if you play it too safe due to a couple of slow months, you risk missing out on sales because you stock out. So in short, while these past sales will give you a ton of insight, they're part of a bigger picture. If you want a 360-degree view, you need to mix that past sales data with other demand predicting techniques, such as method number 2, using ad spend. Digital ads let you see what your potential customers want, and if they're used right, they can be a strong predictor of demand. Every dollar you put into digital ads amplifies your product's visibility. You spend more, you reach more people, and the way these people react through their clicks and their interactions and their purchases paints a clearer demand picture. But simply, if you pour money into promoting a product and you see a lot of engagement, you're on the right track. You'll also want to pay attention to website traffic too. A big spike in visitors post-ad campaign isn't just a number, it's potential sales. But if you see a huge spike in traffic and you don't actually see a spike in sales, that rings alarm bells too. It means people are curious, but something's stopping them from buying. So here's a quick tip. Keep an eye on those conversion rates and cart drop-offs. A solid conversion rate means that your ads aren't just putting people on the site, they're actually making them buy. And if the carts are being abandoned more often than not, it might be time to reassess things like your pricing, your shipping costs, or maybe your checkout flow. Once you nail down this method, you can eventually say, with a good degree of confidence, if I spend X dollars on ads, we'll see about Y in sales. And that makes demand estimation much easier. But it can't account for sales that don't originate from ads. So you have to know that ads tend to be more expensive during holidays as well. But digital ads for e-commerce are one of the few places where you can reliably say, if we spend this, we'll get that as a result. Now you need to use this method with other ones as well. You can't make every decision by spreadsheet. Sometimes you need to consider the larger picture. And for that, you'll want to use method number 3, market data and expert opinions. Past sales and ad spend are useful because it can provide concrete numbers, but those numbers are based on the ideas that things will continue more or less as they already have. But you need to consider broader context around you. For that, publicly available market studies and reports can be very useful. They can pull data from various corners of the internet, give you a peek into what customers are loving, what's trending, and what might shake up the market next. Pay attention to the thought leaders in your niche too. They can help you see the broader context. What's happening on the world stage? Is there a fresh tech trend shifting around how folks shop? You've got to have a big picture grasp on these scenarios so you can kind of predict how that might change the demand of what you're selling. You can find this advice in a lot of places, from your own sales staff to trade group reps to social media. Take qualitative insights and compare it to your more number-driven data. Now look at e-commerce webinars and online forums and subreddits. Go read them and pay attention. Get outside, go to an occasional networking event just to see what's going on. The bottom line here is that your sales and your ad figures are key, but you've got to blend them with what you hear from marketing experts too, because that's how you get the full story. And then there's, of course, one more big group of people you ask for help, and we'll cover that in method number 4, asking your audience. Sometimes the most direct way to gauge demand is simply by asking your audience. After all, they're the ones who are making the purchasing decisions anyway. So start with surveys. They're relatively simple to put together. You can make them on Google Forms or SurveyMonkey, and it's a good way to figure out what a new product's buzz is or how a change in an existing product will go over with your audience. It doesn't take too long to make them, and you can use HubSpot and other places like that to help you design a survey that makes sense. It's pretty straightforward. But what if you need more detailed insights that aren't just like click this on a survey? That's where focus groups come in. You gather together people in a relatively intimate setting and you go over your product descriptions and kind of engage with a group of possible customers and learn what you can about their product preferences, their potential pain points, and factors that influence their purchasing decisions. Long-form conversation. Now you might also want to look at market studies too. This requires more legwork than surveys or focus groups, but the payoff is that you get a much wider view of where your product stands in the overall market. Your audience has a ton of valuable information. All you have to do is find the right way to ask, and you can learn a lot about how certain business strategies can affect demand. Here's what demand estimation can't do. While demand estimation is undeniably a powerful tool for an e-commerce owner's arsenal, it's also essential to recognize its limitations. You can't predict the future, really. That's what it comes down to. Markets are weird. Shifts, they happen, sometimes quickly. Sudden global events like COVID-19 can come out of seemingly nowhere. Brand new tech like generative AI can take the world by storm, as it did early last year. And your competitors, you never know when they're going to launch a new product or have a great sale or suddenly and inexplicably go bankrupt. Stuff happens. So approach demand estimation with humility. Review your estimates regularly and change them as new data becomes available. It's like the old business aphorism. All models are wrong, some models are useful. The point of demand estimation is to help with inventory control and sales forecasting. It's undeniably true, but on a deeper level, it's about asking questions about whether you're selling the right products to the right people. Going through the motions of demand estimation alone help you do that, even if you don't get the numbers perfectly right. Estimating demand is hard. It looks like a science, but it feels like an art. But if you practice, you will eventually get good at that, and that will make it so much easier to succeed in your e-commerce endeavors to come. My name is Brandon, here on behalf of Fulfillrite. If you need help shipping your orders, go to fulfillrite.com and request a quote. We've shipped for thousands of clients, and we'd be happy to help you ship your orders too. The quote doesn't cost a thing, so if nothing else, you get some good information on pricing. Link is down there in the description. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Don't forget to slap some postage on that bell so that we can express ship new videos to you as soon as they drop. And last but not least, if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. I will personally answer as many as I can. Thanks for watching.